In the beginning of the film, we meet a couple, Sarah and John. John was always busy with his work, while Sarah was pregnant at this time. One day, when she was very sick, she called John, but John did not answer any of her calls. And when she came back, she found out the most shocking news that her son was dead. From that day on, Sarah started to be more worried and sad. Sarah did not even leave the house. To get back to life, John made a new decision. He decided that they would change the house, which would distract Sarah. Sarah did not feel bad about this idea. These people started looking for a house online, and they went to many places and saw the house themselves. But they did not find any house for a month or two, and now they thought their idea was useless. They were about to drop their idea, but then a lady told them about her friend who had a mansion, and he wanted to sell that mansion. John and Sarah went to his address. This house was in a very desolate area. At first, they had a strange feeling when they saw this house, as if this house was haunted. But when they went inside, they were shocked that this was not a house. This was a mansion. It was a beautiful palace. When they came home, they met the owner, Amy, who started showing them around the house. While doing this, he told them that this house was built in 1980. And it took about 20 years to renovate it, and everything here was proof of this. Sarah felt that this house was like her dream house. Everything was here. They kept talking to each other, and Amy made lunch for them. While having lunch, she asked, "Why do you want to live in such a desolate place?" Then Sarah replied, "We have faced a lot of difficulties in our life, and now we just want to start a new life, in a desolate place." Hearing this, Amy said, "It's a good thing. You guys stay in this house for a day or two. We'll talk about the deal later." Hearing this, they got even more excited, and they decided to stay in this house. Amy gave them only one instruction to stay in this house, that as long as you guys are here, don't open the basement door at all. They stayed here last night. And this morning, when they went out to buy Amy, they saw that Amy was not at home. They just got a letter from Amy, in which it was written that Amy is giving them this house as a gift. Hearing this, both of them were surprised. How could anyone give their house as a gift? They were completely unknown to Amy. Amy had written only one condition in her letter. That just doesn't open the basement door at all. John couldn't believe anything. He felt that this is all a joke with him, or there is a big secret hidden because of which they can also get trapped. Now they were talking about the fact that Amy's friend came here who had told them about Amy. She had brought the property papers of this house. Seeing this, both of them were shocked. John still did not have the right to take this house. But then Sarah explained to him, "Look, John, there is everything in this house. If we do anything new, it will cost a lot to renovate it, and here we don't have to spend any money." So what is the problem in this? Now, listening to Sarah, John decides to keep this house. They also shifted to this house. They spent some happy days in this house, and then they had a welcome party in this house. Lisa was also there at this party, and we came to know that Lisa was John's ex-girlfriend. John had an affair with Lisa even after marriage, but after John's son died, he had no relationship with Lisa. And now seeing him suddenly in this party, he was scared. John was afraid that his wife might not know about Lisa. He takes Lisa alone and asks, "What is your purpose of coming here?" Lisa replied, "I have no purpose. Only my friend has invited me here." Before he said anything else to Lisa, John heard Sarah's voice from outside. Her voice seemed to be scared. John ran outside. He saw that some strangers were holding petrol bottles outside, and they were threatening to burn this house. John was also scared. Then they said, "Empty this house with decency. If you don't leave this house, we will burn this house." This was really very disturbing, but for now that man was gone. The next day, when John came to the office, he found out one more surprising thing. In his anger, Lisa had filed a false report against him in the office. Because of this, he was suspended in the office, and he talked about investigating the matter. John was very upset with these things. He couldn't even tell this to his wife, because he was afraid that his wife might not know about Lisa. And he behaved with his wife as if everything was normal. And at home, in his free time, he started paying attention to the same door in the basement, which his mother had forbidden him to open. Thinking about this, he was in front of the door of the basement. He was wondering what was in it that he was forbidden to open it. He tried to open it without breaking the lock with a rod. But when the door didn't open, he decided that he would see the design of this house, by which he would know what is inside this basement. Now he went to the company who had made the design of this house to take the design of this house. The employee there tells John that the first people who live here have also asked for the design of this place many times. But no one other than you came here to take this design. This thing was going to bother him a lot. This man also told John that Amy had lived here 20 years before today, but then, without any reason, his wife left him with his daughter. No one knows the reason for this. Now John's curiosity has increased. He started thinking that it is possible that the secret of Amy's family is hidden in that basement. To open the basement and find out about it, he got even more excited. He came home and saw all this design, which was almost normal. He had now opened the basement lock. When he went inside, at first he thought everything was normal. But then he found out that there was a cellar under the floor. He had just removed the woods from the floor that he found out that he had come to Sarah's house. He immediately ran and locked this basement, and came to his house and started doing normal work, so that Sarah does not know that he has gone to the basement. Tonight, John got a call from Lisa. Lisa was threatening him in some way. She was telling him to meet her. John also decided to meet her the next day, and she requested that whatever she had said in the office, that misunderstanding should be removed. But after hearing this, because John had come to meet her for his own interest, and now she decided to take revenge. She decided that she was John's wife. Sarah was told the whole truth that John had cheated on her. The next day we see Sarah at home, where she is very unwell today. She was doubting that maybe she is pregnant, and this doubt of hers also turned into belief. She was very happy. She wanted to tell John this immediately. While calling, his phone accidentally fell down. And when she started picking up the phone, she found the design of this house sitting down. She also started looking at this design, and now she knows that John was investigating that basement. She also decided to go inside that basement, like John. When she was in the basement, Lisa came to her house from behind. She wanted to tell her about John's disloyalty. But here she did not find Sarah anywhere, and she touched Sarah's pregnancy test. She became even more jealous, and her anger turned into hatred. When Sarah came upstairs, she saw the door of the house open, and she shut it quietly, without thinking that someone must have entered her house too. When John came home, he saw that Lisa's car was going out of his house. Seeing this, he got angry and got scared. Did Lisa tell Sarah the whole truth? He started following Lisa's car, so that he knows why Lisa came to his house. But even after following her for a long time, he did not find out anything, and he got angry and came back home, where Sarah was waiting for him, to ask him, why did he open the door of the basement? John made an excuse that there is nothing like that there. I just opened it, but I did not find anything. John did not tell Sarah about the basement there, which he was seeing under the floor. Thank God that John had sealed it earlier. Here, Sarah also gave him good news that they were going to be parents again. And after hearing this, John was very happy. Now maybe his first son's sorrow was also going to be less. After hearing this news, John also gets this happiness from the office. The accusation that Lisa had put on him was all over. Because during the investigation, John was not found wrong in anything. After this news, John was very relaxed. His life was back on routine. Now a new member was going to come in his family. John decided to set up a room for him in his house. And when they were setting up the room, then John saw a hole in the wall behind a Cinderella. There was a bullet stuck in this hole, which was part of Amy's old collection. Amy had shown him this collection, and seeing this, he understood that surely Amy must have murdered her family, and surely her dead bodies must have been hidden in her basement. That's why he talks about not opening that basement. He also discussed this with Sarah. Now they were talking about the sudden knock on the door. Police officers came outside. They also brought shocking news. Lisa was murdered, whose car was found in the jungle. Police came to investigate John, because John's affair and Lisa's accusation on him became very famous here, and everyone thought that because of Lisa's accusation, John must have killed Lisa to take revenge. During the investigation, John could have said anything, but Sarah supported him and lied to the police that John was at home the whole day. There was no question of such an investigation. That's why the police left without investigating. After the police left, Sarah was very angry, because the police had told her about John and Lisa's affair. John was trying to defend himself here. He wanted to tell Sarah that he had ended this affair long ago. But Sarah silenced him and said that he had known about all this since the day my daughter died because of that girl. I kept calling you. I knew at that time that you were with that girl. I tolerated all this because I wanted to keep my family safe. But now Sarah didn't want to live with John, because Sarah felt that Sarah also had a doubt on John. She said that she can't let her child grow up with a father who is accused of murder. After hearing this, John convinced her. Listen to me, Sarah. I didn't do anything with him. Believe me, Sarah left from here. But now John was lost in his words. He didn't realize that so many problems had come into his life. Thinking about it, a thought came to his mind, that since the time he has come to this house, his life problems have increased even more. And it is also possible that there is some secret hidden in the basement behind this. Thinking about this, he goes to the house of the man told by the designer, to whom Amy had given this house earlier, who had also asked the designer for the design of this place. After going to his house, John was surprised. He was the same man who had threatened John to leave this house on the day of the party. Otherwise, he had also said that he would burn this house. This man welcomed John very well in his house, and they started talking about the same house. That boy said, "First of all, I was also very happy that I am getting such a luxury house for free. But as time passed, I came to know that this house is just a problem. Because of this, my life got worse. I got addicted to alcohol, and my family left me. And then I realized that there is some curse in this house." John wanted to know what was in that basement because there was alcohol in that house. He wanted to talk about it, but that man didn't tell John anything, and said, "Just remember one thing, never open the door of that basement." Now when he did not get any strong answer from this man, so he went home and broke the lock of that basement and decided to go to that basement. And seeing this, Sarah immediately came to stop him. John was not listening to him now. Then Sarah had to attack John with a big stick, which made John unconscious. Sarah brought him to her house. When John came to his senses, it was morning. As soon as he came to his senses, Sarah revealed a very big truth here, that it was not John behind Lisa's murder, but Sarah herself. She told John that I also went to open the door of this basement, but I didn't find anything in the basement. And when I came home, Lisa was on the second floor. She had my pregnancy test in her hand, and she was looking at the house. She told me that this house should not be yours, it should be mine. You have no right on this house because John is not yours. Hearing this, I got angry and just picked up my gun and fired bullets at him. Although Lisa was not badly injured at that time, her life could have been saved. But I was scared because of the bullets. I was afraid that the police might follow me and I might be punished. So to hide everything, I strangled Lisa and killed her. That bullet that John found on the wall, Sarah had fired. Now she says to John, "You promise me that you will never open this basement." Then John asked, "Why?" So Sarah says that after killing Lisa, I wrapped Lisa in a polythene sheet and threw her in the basement. And then I took her car and went to the bank of a river. There I also threw her phone in the river and erased all the traces. Sarah said that I had also burned my clothes on which Lisa's blood was applied. But then you saw that bullet on the wall, and I saw myself getting trapped. But at the same time, the police came to the house, and my goal was to save you. I was afraid that the police might come to me while investigating. Sarah was telling all these things so easily, as if it was a party incident, not a murder. Here John says to her, "Listen, don't worry, I will hire a lawyer for you." Hearing this, Sarah laughs and says to him, "I am not afraid. I don't even know Lisa. All the evidence is against you. If anyone comes to me, the blame for this murder will go to you and you will be killed. So it is better that you stay quiet and I will also stay quiet. And we will not tell anyone about the door of that basement. and we will tell everyone that Amy has forbidden us from opening the door of this basement." Sarah was starting to get scared. She was really very intelligent. She used to handle any matter very easily. John knew that Sarah still did not want to trap him, but yes, a family wants to continue with him. John also agreed to all this. But despite this decision, John was still nervous. Then Sarah said to him, "Look, there are a lot of lost people in this city. If the police don't find any clue, they will stop investigating." Hearing this, John also agrees to her and seals the basement. After this day, it is said that these people stayed in this house for a long time. They also did all the events in this house. They also celebrated all the festivals, in which Sarah looked quite satisfied. But John's face often showed trouble.